What if you could lose your job because of technology and AI? Well, that's a valid fear for many. But we have to look at some historical context with some of the changes our country has faced. With the rate that technology is moving, these fears of technology are top of mind with companies and governments looking to regulate use and control. But the box already contains a jack, just like a jack in the box, ready to spring out at any moment. Now we can try to stuff it back in, but it'll just pop out again as the world turns and cranks its rotations. And in this episode, in this show, we cover 5 proactive ways to approach technology that may not totally dispel the fear of technology and the use of it, but to help navigate the changes that we will all continue to face.
This podcast is brought to you by DJ Works Media with resources and ideas for you at mid-career or half-time of life. Check out our online courses where we want you to not only start, but finish. Books available in all versions and songs available for immediate download with sheet music and instrumental accompaniment tracks. Our musicals are family-friendly with great music that's memorable and inspiring. Sign up at goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter for weekly updates. Now to our episode.
For many, the term technology evokes a sense of ominous fear, particularly as advancements seem to occur at warp speed. Now, this fear is especially relevant for individuals at mid-career who may be considering a change. The fear of being replaced by technology, particularly by artificial intelligence, AI, is a valid concern. However, it's essential to consider historical context and parallels in our nation's history. Reflecting on our past, we can draw inspiration from the transition from horse-drawn transportation to automobiles, rotary and dial-up phones to cell phones. In fact, I used to watch my own grandmother use her wringer washing machine. She would turn the pair of rollers by hand, squeezing the excess water from the clothes after washing. And for her, it was a wonderful advancement from hours spent hand washing and scrubbing clothes. Well, there are many other examples that we can approach as well. So join us as we delve deeper into the parallels between historical technological advancements and the challenges that we face today. Through insightful details and real-life examples, and we'll uncover some strategies for overcoming the fear of technology and embracing some opportunities for personal and professional growth in today's tech-driven world. And I've also included in the article that goes along with this podcast links to an additional podcast that you will find fascinating, an interview I had with Mark Hirschberg, who is not only tech savvy with a number of patents and inventions, but he's created an app that I'm actually now using that you will really want to check out. It's free. So let's start our tips here with tip 1, face the fear with facts. Even in communities like the Amish, where traditional practices are upheld, the integration of modern tools like farm equipment has enhanced productivity without sacrificing core values. Wooden plows may still be in use, but the adoption of modern farming techniques, it's made tasks like plowing and harvesting much more efficient and economically viable. Only the oldest among us will remember the laundresses, the meter readers, telephone operators, and the secretarial school. I can't admit that I remember all of those, but some of them. But all of those jobs have been replaced with other jobs. I don't think twice when I do multiple loads of laundry, scan my credit card for a parking meter, or text a family member on my cell phone. New jobs were created to fix our washing machines, check the computer for parking violations, and proofread speech-to-text articles and notices. There's an interesting report from the WEF, which is World Economic Forum, that forecasts shifts in the job market due to AI. Well, these job statistics that might happen would be like 83 million jobs lost and 69 million jobs created. Well, this looks like a net loss of 14 million jobs, but there will still mostly be a transformation in how work is done. Robots aren't going to take over our world. We still need humans to invent new products and entrepreneurs to sell and promote them. To better prepare ourselves, we have to be willing to spend time expanding our knowledge and our use of technology. And another study, according to a Deloitte survey of over 2,800 leaders, most are focused on improving efficiency and productivity with AI, reducing costs, and improving existing products and services. So let's move on to tip 2, facing the fear of technology. Be willing to spend time with tech. Now, some of the time spent with technology will feel like it's wasted time, but that is part of the process. Now, I'm not sure how many hours I've spent on recording and production equipment that wasn't working. It's frustrating. And usually it came down to one control I had either forgotten to set or wasn't aware of. So I have learned to take good notes because I know there will come a time again when I'm stuck many times with the same issue. Now, a lot of the learning process includes a mindset that's willing to not only spend time, but waste time. Many of us are so busy that we tend to get more and more frustrated with anything that doesn't work immediately. And this is the time to walk away for a while and then come back to the project or the tech tool. Now, part of this process might be getting some help or doing some additional research to find the reason for the issue. A lot of times you can find so many things online, just on a YouTube search. So more and more, I'm discovering new tech tools, always reading the reviews and always making sure there's either a free trial or an easy return. Getting to know how to use some of those tech tools is like hiring an additional assistant. But there's still a learning curve, and it's important to not get so many tools that it's impossible to manage them all. Now, my suggestion is to create a list that's aligned with what is truly needed and valued, and look for the tools that will complement that list. Then spend enough time to learn each tool to make it easy to train and manage others using those same tools. I try to use it myself first, at least so I know kind of what it's about. So let's move on to our tip 3, education and training. Make sure you get the article that comes with this. You will get all of these as well as some other resources. Taking proactive steps to educate ourselves about technology will pay off. Now, there are a number of workshops, online courses, and seminars to learn the basics of common technologies and digital tools. And if you're wondering where to start, well, realize that we already use so many of these tools by using our phone, our appliances, and programming our TVs. Many communities offer free or low-cost classes specifically designed for beginners. But be picky because our time is our most valuable asset. Choose carefully how you will spend that time. Also, we can be fairly specific in choosing what to pursue. So for accessing a free tool like ChatGPT, it's similar to going on a Google search, though ChatGPT will do a lot more than just a Google search. However, with a disclaimer here, it's important to always check sources and the information for accuracy. The accuracy will depend on the type of input on the back end. I always look for valid sources on any statistic, as a lot of those sources are just made up. I found so many mistakes. You have to do your research. But at least it gives a good prompt. And the more we acquire knowledge and skills, the more confident and empowered we will feel as we navigate this digital landscape. Also, realize that the speed of technology is increasing daily, probably hourly. I try to focus on the basics first so I can hire out the type of tech team that I need. And if you go on Fiverr or even LinkedIn, there are many looking for tech work who are very capable and willing to work most anywhere in the world. And a lot of tech work can be done virtually. Now, this used to not be the case, and it's now very doable and reasonable in cost. So let's move on. Tip 4, start small and seek guidance. Starting small is a mindset that we need to adopt because it includes starting. There are very small steps that can be taken, especially within a larger goal. I make it a habit to work hard at creating systems with very small steps. And when they are created, it makes it easier for me to hire out tasks as needed. Now, I recently did this with some video editing work for my podcasts. I've not felt comfortable offloading this task because I'm fast at editing. I've done it for years, and it didn't seem worth spending the time or resources to train someone else. Plus, many editors charge much more than I think they need to charge if given a good system. So as soon as I created my system and offloaded one video with a team that I was already very familiar with, working with, I trusted them, I became comfortable with offloading more and more. Now, my system includes me doing some of the back-end work, actually a lot of the back-end work, to provide the right footage, files, and information. But by doing this, I would be doing those anyway. I knew the product put out by my video team will be consistent and on brand with my other materials because of what I set up. Now, because I've dealt so much with tech issues in the past, I've not been afraid to approach technology. But for those who are not as adventuresome, I suggest seeking guidance. However, spend time doing the research because there are many so-called coaches and experts who charge a lot of money and depend on their influential messages to sell. So look carefully at what is truly offered and what they have put out and get as much information as possible. Referrals are also a very good source of information, but still due diligence with research and reviews. There's a lot of free information given for different tools that are available completely free for further educating ourselves. So tip 5, this is our last tip for this particular episode. Stay updated and adapt accordingly. Technology is constantly evolving, so it's essential to stay informed about the latest advancements and trends. And this can feel overwhelming, but it's really not. I've recently incorporated the app Using It by Mark Hirschberg. I had mentioned him, and his podcast is included. The link is in the article. The app called Brain Bump. It's free for anyone, and it gives me, as an author and a podcaster, another marketing tool, as well as a resource for finding new material. Well, I also follow tech blogs, subscribe to newsletters, magazines, and listen to podcasts to stay updated on industry developments. And I've included some of my favorites in the links included in the article and in the show notes. Now, I'm picky, though, because you only have so much time. We have to embrace a mindset of lifelong learning and be open to adapting to new technologies as they emerge. We don't need to adopt every single new emerging technology, but the willingness to experiment and waste some time will pay off at some point. It may actually become fun in some cases and addictive. Recognize that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process, and it gives us an opportunity to improve. Also, remember that staying curious and adaptable will help us stay ahead in today's fast-paced digital world. I got such a thrill to read the texts from my 88-year-old father, and I've kept some of them even after he's been gone. He never did spell check, and some messages were quite hilarious. but he was willing to embrace the technology, and the attitude revealed so much of his life philosophy, which was, I'm not afraid of dying, but I really like living. That's exactly what he felt. And we are living in a world with so much opportunity. So embrace it and learn as much as possible to enjoy every day that you are granted to live on this earth. So as a quick little recap, tip 1, face the fear with facts. Tip 2, be willing to spend time with tech. And be willing to waste a little time, right? Tip 3, education and training. Tip 4, start small and seek guidance. And tip 5, stay updated and adapt accordingly. I hope this has really helped you, encouraged you. It's actually been a very fun one for me to do. Again, I've been in this field, production field, but I've learned so much just by doing. And there was that tip of just, you have to start. You have to just be willing to spend some time, maybe waste some time. Be picky. Your time is your very important, precious attribute and resource. Thanks again for joining me. I am here at least once a week, and I've added in a lot of other interviews this year for podcasts. That's been one of the things I've added on. So make sure that you listen, subscribe. I hope you get our newsletter too, because I do include all of the articles in those newsletter and the newsletters, also the podcast updates, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. It's completely free. You can unsubscribe anytime if it's not appropriate for you, but I hope it helps you out a lot. So we will talk to you again soon, and I'll look forward to being with you again next time. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us. It is because of our wonderful listeners like you that we keep going strong week after week. We'd love it if you'd share and follow us to not miss a single show and even write a review. You can also find all of our articles, products, and links at womenathalftime.com.